Good morning, honorable educators and all the members of the House. It's my pleasure to be here so that I can state my case in this debate. The topic of our debate is this House would require political candidates to pass a political competency test in order to run for office. I'm Azka will act as the leader of opposition. Before giving my rebuttal, I would like to take a look at the motion. The political candidates that have been stated is not clearly yet. I would like to give limitation that the political candidate is in Indonesia. The Prime Minister speaker said that government rule is fluctuative. People view the government as not being able to change their life anyway. Every party candidate is our senators must pass a political competency test, which is actually the building blocks of government that is necessary for the politician to know. Because within the status quo is the problem of political nihilism, where there is a distrust from the people towards the government. The candidate must have experience in professional fields in things like healthcare, law, industry, etc. So that they can actually have a grassroots and relatable background so that the people know them and vote for them and pass the result for the people to see. I couldn't agree less with their argument. I would like to rebut appearance made by the government. Before I state my arguments regarding the motion that is being discussed, the arguments what the government has appeared several significant questions. Political competency tests. What kind of test that the political candidates which they must go through? In Indonesia, fit and proper test has also been applied to public servants who have previously been nominated or selected. What's the difference between a political competency test and a fit and proper test? A competency test does not just come out of nowhere, but must be under someone's control. Who will take the control of the political competency test? On what is the test based? Does it include theoretical knowledge or testing the accuracy of our ability to remember something? I'm going to discuss some point here by considering it from different perspectives. First, we will look at it from the perspective of education. Competency tests can be defined as assessment to measure a person's knowledge or skills in a particular subject area. These tests are typically used as a requirement to fulfill certain criteria. In this case, they can potentially lead to discrimination against individuals seeking to run for political office, particularly those who have had access to proper facilities and education from a young age. Sometimes, these individuals have already set their sights on a specific goal and direction from a young age, aiming to secure the desired positions. In this context, referring to politics, from young age, they have been educated and equipped with political knowledge to secure the desired positions, even participating in various activities. Additionally, parents or family members who work in the political sector often have strong connections. This creates a high likelihood that such individuals will have a greater chance of passing political competency tests. However, what about someone from a low-income family? They do not have the same access as those from upper-class economic backgrounds. Secondly, looking at the previous example, it is also possible that this will create opportunities for illegal practices, such as corruption. The government already said the example of this is similar to getting a driver's license. People who want to drive on public roads are required to obtain a driver's license by passing a driving test. They must pass various tests in order to obtain a license and be able to drive on public roads. However, there have been cases of cheating on these tests in Indonesia. People can simply pay a certain amount of money and obtain a driver's license without having to pass the test. Thirdly, we will look at it from the perspective of economy. Looking at the previous example, it can be concluded that there will be economic gaps between political candidates. Some were born into upper class families, while the other were born into lower class families. If candidates from the upper class excel in political competency tests, how can they understand communities whose economy are not yet evenly distributed? How can lower class communities trust them to become government officials and manage all the needs of the country and its people without understanding the country and its people as a whole? Therefore, we can enhance education for the people evenly, ensuring that they can obtain proper education so that they can consider their choices more wisely. In addition, strict regulation can be established to enforce transparency and encourage more participation between the people and the candidates so that they can get to know the candidates they will elect better. So, the argument from the House is not true. It's only going to make things worse. That's all I can compute that from my explanation. It's clear that I totally disagree with the motion, and hopefully this will convince the educators to take into their considerations.